look like Hit Me Baby One More Time, Britney Spears, don't I? Hey guys, it's Lena. I hope you're all amazing, and if you are not, I hope my video puts a smile on your beautiful faces and makes you laugh. In this week's video, I kind of felt like doing a sit-down type of vlog type of thing, and I actually, for this week, for a little bit of fun, I actually took a video request from a fellow friend here on YouTube, from Blade Ninja, and he wanted me to do a video talking about my favourite manga ever. Now I thought this idea was perfect because, me talking about more manga related things on here, which is something I wanted to do. So without further ado, what is my favourite manga? I'm actually sad that I actually don't own this manga myself yet. I read this manga 9 years ago. Everybody's thought that it has been Rurouni Kenshin. I loved Rurouni Kenshin manga, but it's been so long since I read that, but it's actually not that. My favourite manga, because this could change for future reference, because I'm still getting up to scratch on my manga reading. Kare's First Love, and it is by, before I forget, Kaho Miyasaka. Now, this particular manga author has not done a lot of titles. She's probably only done about 6 that I've researched up until now. It's a shame because I enjoy this manga so much. The first time I read this manga, I just couldn't put it down. I reread it after that about 5 times, and I've totally lost count of how many times I have reread this manga. And the story is about a girl named Kare. She's very introvert, nerdy. She's very much set on concentrating on studying and school. She has no real ambition in her life, kind of no direction. She has no idea where to go. She kind of steers clear about the picture, blends in with the crowd. And one day on the bus, she doesn't notice that there's a guy that's trying to look up her skirt. And there is a young guy named Kare. And he notices this, and then unfortunately through certain events she assumes that he was the pervert, and that is kind of how these two meet, and how eventually Corinne ends up falling in love with Kare, and of just their growth of their relationship, and you learn about Kare's side of the family, Corinne's side of the family, and it goes really in depth with their relationship. Now, this series was the beginning of my whole love of probably all the shoujo romance mangas that I have read up until now. It was, and this manga is no different from any of them. It has all the typical dramas. There's love triangles, there's all the misconceptions, all misunderstandings, that some things weren't her fault, some things weren't his fault. Kind of know how that goes. I found myself really falling in love with Corinne's character within the first volume of reading this manga. There is about 10 volumes of this series, which I was so happy to find out, because how it ends is beautiful. Corinne reminded me kind of myself, where there was a stage in my life where I didn't really wanted to do in life. I was the goody two-shoes in school. I wanted to concentrate on what was, important in life and not worry about boys. And of course, Corinne herself in the manga, she's very self-conscious. She has no self-confidence, and she doesn't really consider herself much of anything of importance. And it all changes when, as they say, it all changes when you meet a boy, When she meets Kare, who is very kind of like the popular guy, I remember in school I totally wanted to stay away from all the popular guys because you assume they're all jerks. But underneath the scope, you get to know Kare is a very deep down, very caring, serious guy underneath all of it. At first, I actually didn't like his character at first, all the teasing he did with Corinne. That's how their relationship started. Kare, all he ever did was just tease Corinne, and it made her feel like he was just, messing around with her, and we all know how that feels, girls, to be messed around with by boys. And the really big turnaround for Corinne was when they finally both started dating, and one of the first big changes that led towards Corinne's real big character development was I enjoyed her character development the most in the series, more than Kare. Kiria just didn't really change that much. She was still pretty much the same. The first big change was that she wore glasses all the time. She never kind of considered wearing contact lenses, and there's a bit in the manga where there's a moment where Corinne is not wearing her glasses. It's actually quite a cute moment between the two, and he is kind of baffled at how she looks. She looks beautiful, and then that's when she begins to get some self-confidence in herself, within herself. That's when she starts wearing her glasses less. It's the simple things like that, the impact from a person, that really makes a difference on yourself when you're someone that's, you don't consider yourself worth much, and you don't have that much self-confidence. And this is what you see through Corinne's character, and that is what I felt very related to, and that's why I enjoyed Corinne's character growth as the series progressed. And she also portrays in the series through her character of the dealings with when you're going to get intimate with a boy, when Kiria has had experience before and Corinne is very standoffish of the idea of them two, doing it. And that part of the series is very hilarious. It is, of how Corinne is very standoffish from Kiria, but of course it frustrates Kiria a lot, and that's when some of the drama happens. And then later on there is a lot of drama with love triangle kind of crap. And then towards the end of the manga, everything just kind of really slows down, and you end up having this very, very sweet ending. I will not spoil anything for those that have not read the manga. To say anything about this manga series that I don't like, even though it's my favorite manga currently right now, probably would say of just the drama, just with the transition of how one drama ends, everything's all cool, great, and then something comes along again. It's very kind of up and down, and then you're just kind of Jesus Christ, can we just slow it a bit down with the drama? But that doesn't really deflate or take away from the main story of the relationship building between Kiria and Corinne. I did enjoy Kiria's character. I love the part where I learned about his background, of of his family background, of that he is actually running away from something, and Corinne of course ends up helping him through that. Having that kind of support from someone is always so important, and that is reflected well in this series. If only this series was made into an anime, you'd have no idea how happy I would be. But the chances of that happening are very slim to none. This series is very, very enjoyable, but if you don't mind a lot of kind of up and down drama, as typically shoujo can be, you will definitely enjoy this series, especially if for example, you've watched animes like Say I Love You, Kimi no Todake. I love this manga series to death, especially that I found personal connection through with this manga. That's always so important to me whenever I read a manga or an anime series. I always want to find some personal connection because I'm very over sentimental fool, as most people know. If you want to read this manga, I know you can easily find this series on eBay and Amazon. They're everywhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can pick them up for dirt cheap. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my favorite manga ever, and you can always comment down below if you've read this manga. Did you enjoy it? And you can also let me know if you would like to see more manga related videos. I'm gonna do them anyway, but I will always like to hear others' input. And I thank you, Blade Ninja, for the very fun request of talking about this series. I just wanted to keep it very brief and not really go overly into it in deep. I think these kind of videos should be kept short and sweet. As always, guys, don't forget to subscribe for more craziness. And if you want to keep up with my anime antics, you can follow me on my blog at Lito Kino Anime Corner. And you can follow me on Twitter, Kino Reviews, where I am 24/7. And I will see you guys then or next week with a brand new video. Bye!